Hey guys, welcome back to the Kengan Maximum Tournament, which I am proud to say is back in full force and then some. You can now look forward to less effort in the visuals, but spectator commentary as to be expected in both Baki and Kengan, as well as consistent uploads. As a matter of fact, until the end of the tournament, you can all expect a new episode of the Kengan Maximum Tournament every other video. With the caveat that requested videos, like the upcoming Combat Clarification Grappler Baki Techniques Explained video explaining the mechanics of the cockroach tackle, will delay the next Kengan Maximum fight by a single video upload. I'll still be uploading other things on this channel and videos on my gaming channel, go sub to that by the way, but every other video on this channel is going to be a new fight in the Kengan Maximum Tournament, so it's even more consistent than Kengan and Baki chapter releases. Anyway, picking up right where we left off, let's start with the second fight of round 1, Shibukawa vs. Adam. But first, cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kengan Maximum Tournament. I hope everyone's gotten a chance to climatize themselves to the brutality and action that'll be packed in each and every fight in this tournament during the intermission. In our last fight, the immeasurable Murobuchi Gozo was able to flawlessly defeat his first round opponent, Sawada the Bird of Darkness Keizukuro, with what can only be considered minor damage by Kengan standards. A taste of the strength, speed, skill, and sheer relentlessness of the Kengan Association for all our newcomers. That match served as a great way to get the ball rolling, but moving on to the second fight of round 1, we have our first cross-association match of the tournament. David versus Goliath, weak versus strong, skill versus brute force. We have a clash not only in associations, but in styles as well. Our second fight of round 1 will be the prodigy of Aikido, Gouki Shibukawa, versus the street fighter that hits like a 10-ton truck, Adam Dudley! The crowd begins to roar cheers as the fighters begin to step out. In the white tiger corner representing Boss Burger yet again, standing at 6'4" and weighing in at an astonishing 236 pounds. The man that can throw a knockout punch from any angle, the fighter that can knock out most men in a single jab, the beast whose strength is nearly peerless even amongst the monsters in the Kengan Association. The one, the only, the Emperor, Adam Dudley! Adam makes his way center stage and, after seeing Cosmo and Koreishi in the crowd, gives them a large toothy grin and a thumbs up. And in the blue dragon corner representing the Shibukawa Ryu Dojo, a man over 3 times his opposite's age, standing at 5'1" and weighing in at 103 pounds. The man over a foot shorter than his foe and well over 100 pounds lighter. The man who ragdolls men twice his size with ease and even once defeated a man 6 times larger than himself. A paradigm of skill incarnate, the master Gouki Shibukawa! Blushing at the announcer's comment about his size and age and scratching the back of his head, Shibukawa makes his way center stage to meet Adam and the ref. Maybe I am getting too old to keep this up. Don't worry, old man, I'm looking to retire you. Permanently. Adam remarks with a heinous grin while glaring down at Shibukawa. I suppose you're in for a surprise then, kiddo. I've been fighting at the national level since I was 15, so having fought and won for 60 years, you'll find that with age comes experience, just like all the other whippersnappers I've beaten. Shibukawa returns with a smirk and a sharp look. Aikido, right? You know I'm not complying, right? The referee begins to outline the rules to each man. He doesn't stand a chance. Iwao Maniuchi grumbles in the stands. Iwao, right? I don't know much about jujutsu and aikido, but if there's one thing my style of karate has taught me, it's how invaluable the ability to dodge is. So if that kid can really strike from these crazy angles, that might serve to throw off the old man's footwork. Kaibara Dozan, the supreme karateka, replies, steadily watching both fighters' movements. Fair enough, but there's nobody in the judo world that hasn't heard of Gouki Shibukawa. Judo nationalist by 15, jujutsu master by 36, unparalleled Aiki master by around 70, and he even took up sumo at some point. Get the common connection with each style? Ah, they're all soft styles. They all counter brute strength. Interesting. Dozan says with a smirk and a glint of interest in his eyes. Are both fighters ready? The ref inquires, met with the nods of both fighters who refuse to break eye contact with one another. Ladies and gentlemen, the second fight of round 1 starts right, the announcer says, anticipation dripping with each word. Begin! Now! The ref and announcer cry out in tandem, followed by the uproar of the crowd in excitement. Adam rushes forward with a series of strikes, but Shibukawa effortlessly sways and dodges out of the way. Adam swings for a big hook, the jobber strike. But as he does so, Shibukawa steps forward, hops up, and headbutts him right in the face. Shibukawa expected this headbutt square to the face to stagger Adam and stop his strike, but Adam powers through and swings anyway. Shibukawa, surprised, narrowly avoids the strike. Oh my goodness! Adam starts the match with a violent barrage of swinging and punching, but Shibukawa-sensei deftly evades and maneuvers to avoid danger and lands a massive headbutt. Unfortunately, the size difference seems to be taking its toll, as Shibukawa-sensei's headbutt seems to do little to discourage the mighty Emperor. That's smart. That old bastard's still using that trick. I'm betting he's gonna use just about the same line if the kiddo rags on him for not using jujutsu. Doppo mutters while rubbing his nose. You fought the old man? Knowing you, I'm surprised he's still alive. How hard a fight was it? Fought him. Nah, I got my ass handed to me by him. He'll tell you it was a close fight, but a loss is a loss. That guy beat you? Damn. Well, I wouldn't count out a student of Kureishi's just yet, considering he's not even used any of Kureishi's jujutsu. But there are a few people I consider an equal in terms of both power and skill in karate, and you're one of them. If the old man could beat you, then... Now hang on, it was my 3rd match after a year of rehab after literally dying. Not only that, but that fight was a long time ago, and I've been training since. I'd even go as far as to say I'm nearly as strong as I was in my prime. So I think you've got the right idea, not counting out anybody yet. The fight's just starting. What's the matter, old man? That all you got? Don't remember headbutts being in Aikido. Adam starts beaming, blood gushing from his nose. Sometimes you gotta spice things up. Old dogs can learn new tricks, you know. Shibukawa cheekily smirks while a bead of sweat drips down the side of his face. This kid's a monster. If that had connected, well, I can forget losing, because if I do, I might just kick the bucket. Shibukawa begins analyzing Adam's movements to predict his next attack. Alright, you're starting to piss me off. Adam grunts, frowning and gritting his teeth. Not so good against agile types, huh? Nah, that's not the problem, it's your stance. My stance? Yeah, you haven't fucking taken one. You're just fucking standing there and moving around like I'm no big deal. Kureishi-sensei always tells me to mind my anger, but you're fucking pissing me off. If you don't take a stance, prepare yourself, or do whatever mystical bullshit you gotta do to take me seriously, I'm gonna take your fucking head off! Adam lunges with a huge straight. Shibukawa slowly moves his hands in front of him and clenches them into fists, palms down at waist level. A classic Aikido stance made to guide the opponent into attacking the face by tricking them with a low open guard. It seems as though the master has been forced by Adam's power and pressure to finally take a stance! What a moron, Hatsumi snickers to himself. Adam's no joke. He's big, strong, and an absolute dumbass. There isn't a soul in the Sen branch family that doesn't know the master, and the only 2 things I know for sure are that if I had to fight old man Shibukawa, I'd sooner give up on the spot, and Adam was screwed the second he landed on his bracket placement. Ugh. I'm getting PTSD just watching this match, Roger Harlan thinks to himself. Big, blonde hair, blue-eyed American muscle fighting this little old Asian man, only to be a dead man walking. Guy's even nearly the same build as me, we're both 6'4", but I'm a trained Olympic wrestler and 70 pounds heavier than him. Poor sucker's not getting out of this one with all his teeth. Hope he likes the taste of wood and blood. Adam takes the bait and launches the straight right at Shibukawa's head. It's over, old man! As Adam lunges forward, Shibukawa suddenly drops to the ground on all 4s sideways and pushes himself through Adam's legs. Adam, having just stepped into his strike, trips forward. Shibukawa turns around, expecting to see a fallen Adam primed for picking apart, gets smashed right in the chin with an uppercut and kicked square in the chest with a back kick. Damn. I'd heard from a friend of mine that Shibukawa guy was something else. My buddy has huge muscles, but that guy flattened him out with a handshake. Not only that, but I can see that his center of gravity is peerless under the heavens. Better than any of my men's, and certainly better than mine. And that's saying something. I happen to pride myself on my balance, you know. Keep watching, young man. Keep watching. Your muscular friend was right. And your warrior's eyes don't deceive you. That man has been predicting much of the fight and rarely made a mistake, much less a careless one. I suspect that, considering his evident skill and extremely high-level motionless skill, not only will he not be so much as touched for the remaining duration of the match, but it will be a flawless display of technical combat ability. Old man, you seem to know what you're talking about, but look at him. Gramps is absolutely laid out. Never count a true fighter out until their dying breath, especially not a true master. Beware of an old man in a profession where men usually die young. Adam, having stopped his descent by gripping the loamy sand ground with his toes, twisted his waist to uppercut Shibukawa with his left fist, and pivoted his hip to follow up with a devastating back kick with the lead leg that had been tripped. The crowd grows silent for a moment at the sickening crunch that followed the uppercut and the sight of the old man sailing nearly 30 feet away. He hits the ground, and one moment passes. And another. And another. Shibukawa was laid out on the ground near the white tiger corner, unmoving. Until Shibukawa slowly begins to stagger to his feet, making guttural gurgling noises and strained groans all the while. The crowd roars to life. Look at that! Shibukawa-sensei has survived the insanely destructive power of the Emperor! A true underdog story in motion. Now that Shibukawa-sensei is wise to Adam's awesome leg strength abilities, what will Adam do? Can he secure victory with the damage he's dealt, or did he just give up his last chance to win? Adam smiles and begins to make his way over to Shibukawa. Damn, old man, you've got spirit. You know, you've actually got my respect. That punch would have done in most big tough guys I've fought, but you took it like a champ. Anyway, maybe we can be pals after this, but it's about time we stop fucking around, yeah? About 5. What? About 5. You hit about 5 times harder than me, or I guess as hard as somebody 5 times my weight. But guess what, Sonny? I've dealt with bigger. That announcer wasn't just blowing smoke up my ass. I've beaten a man that could dwarf you in size and outstrips your strength by a bit as well. And I'll tell you exactly what I told him. Don't underestimate me. Shibukawa rises to his feet, framing his footing in a T-like position, with his lead foot straight forward, and places both of his open hands with his palms turned inward at chest level. You wanted a stance, boy? I'll give you a damn stance. And when I win, I'd love to be pals. Shibukawa winks and begins to edge closer to the approaching Adam. And with another stance taken, it seems as though Shibukawa is ready to fight back and finish this fight! Deafening roars from the crowd boom throughout the arena. You there, Japanese man. You have a strong back and large traps. You wrestle, yes? Huh? Oh yeah, kinda. Did some wrestling a while ago, but I do MMA now, so kickboxing and wrestling. MMA. So you understand what little Japanese man is going to do, duh? Aikido. I'll be damned. I never thought it'd be anything more than some guys in bathrobes LARPing. But then I met Hatsumi. Guy's the real deal, actually fighting using Aikido. Thought I'd seen everything. But this guy, this little old man, just might be the greatest grappler to ever live. I do not believe that I would say this about any other individual. I would not be able to admit this while saving my pride and preserving my pride for Mother Russia. But that man, очень сильный. Сильный меня. As Adam begins to confidently cover the distance with a strut, Shibukawa begins to inch forward with his toes, not so much as lifting his foot. Adam winds up a huge overhead right punch as he thinks to himself, "Time to get smushed, you old fucker!" Dude's got spunk, no doubt about it. But that type of attack just ain't gonna work on a guy like that. Maybe if he had a little more speed, but on the speed scale, he's more of a Hanayama and less of a, well, me. Shibukawa's gonna see that coming a mile away. For all his strength and bravado, he's out of his depth. Adam launches his signature high-stick shot, only to have Shibukawa push the crease of his elbow outward to flourish the elbow with his left hand and guide Adam's wrist with his right hand. With the arm bent, Shibukawa is able to effortlessly guide the fist right back into Adam's face. His signature move! The Aiki of the one and only Tetsujin! He was able to easily reflect Adam's devastating overhead high-stick shot, smashing the huge man with his own fist right into his face! Whoa, what the hell? That guy's a total master of the soft style. That guy'd definitely give old Hatsumi a run for his money. But try redirecting pro wrestling. It's a 3D sport, you know. Adam is knocked back onto his ass, stunned at what had just taken place. He was so sure that the little old man in front of him would have been reduced to paste, that his strike connected with full impact. But here he was on the ground, with his nose leaking like a faucet. This was all too much like his initial bout with Cosmo, when he fell victim to his zone. But different. Worse. Adam then realized that this old man was nothing like he'd ever faced.
angered by the smug look on Shibukawa's face as he looked down on him, the crowd going wild at his being blindsided. He rose to his feet in a rage and almost immediately closed the distance between himself and the old master. Adam and Shibukawa met, and Adam immediately takes another swing. Shibukawa smirks, and Adam suddenly freezes. Yeah, that's pretty much what happens when you get too close. Gouki's a master of pressure points and attacking outside his opponent's field of view. A real nasty combo. You can't be serious, he really managed that? I know pressure points, and that's a damn hard one to land in a fight. Judging by your reaction, he got you with that one too? Doppo crosses his arms and nods with a sigh. Well, color me impressed. I can see why he gave you trouble if he's pulling off stuff like that. And that's all she wrote. The angles did throw him off, but with that little stunt, I think you've won our little bet. When one's footwork gets negated, they're dead in the water. Yeah, and that's not even the impressive stuff for that guy. He's a real beast. I've got a buddy, Doppo, who's also going to fight in this tournament too. And he mentioned that he was good friends with Shibukawa-sensei and that they had fought in this big tournament a long while after he and I had met. He said, to no surprise, that with his Aiki, Shibukawa was the favored winner for almost the entire tournament, until two dark horses, two sons of the ogre, swept the whole thing. Damn, old man's luck was as bad as Adam's is now. That's not even the worst of it. If he wins and Jack Hanma wins his next fight, he'll have to rehash the very fight that lost him that tournament. Shibukawa had stepped on Adam's foot after Adam had gotten too close to see Shibukawa's feet and pressed his toe on a point on Adam's foot between his big toe and his second toe.
He's paralyzed Adam by pressing the point on the instep of Adam's foot with his toe!
Gavaru shrugs. Well, I guess you were right, man. Should have known better than to bet against center of gravity and balance. But that white boy had a pretty good sense of balance, along with the muscles I've come to appreciate from my friend. Indeed, young man. Shibukawa-sensei has two things that the young boy lacks. Faith in his art, and decades of experience. The boy has potential, but he must grow yet, and grow he will from this loss. Shibukawa rams his fingers into Adam's nose, curling his fingers to get a grip, and yanks Adam downward by the nose, causing him to yelp in pain, recoil, and jump back. As he hops, Shibukawa spins Adam's head downward and slams it directly into the ground.
Wow! With Shibukawa's newly developed Aiki Sumo combo, the master's sage wisdom and skill has overcome the unrivaled might of the Emperor!
It was inevitable. A strength-based striker will never beat a skill-based grappler. Even a strength-based grappler likely couldn't beat a skill-based grappler, without strength being great, and skill being little. I'm more of a little bit of everything kind of guy, and a majority of my own kit is grappling in the tie-up and on the ground, but I gotta say, the proof's in the pudding with this one, so I think you've got a point. I too mix martial arts with boxing, but my passion is wrestling. Never forget your passion, young Japanese man. Okay, thanks. Kinda reminds me of me and Wakatsuki's fight back in the day. Old man Shibukawa even hopped when he got smashed and shifted his vitals. Truly a class act for a soft-style master. Well, the kid's gonna keep his teeth, but he's definitely got pancake face now. The old master didn't get out of that one clean either, but knowing the doctors they've got on staff and how they're the best of the best, he'll be fine. He's probably looking at a fractured jaw and a bruised sternum, but nothing bad, all things considered. Looks like the Emperor has been dethroned, right, buddy? Fight conclusion. Winner by Dashinage 3 minutes and 51 seconds into the fight. The Master, Gouki Shibukawa. Injuries sustained, major bruising to the sternum, and a fractured jaw. And that's going to bring the second fight of round 2 to a close. Writing this script, which I'm currently doing on the 30th of April, took me pretty much 5 hours straight of writing, and I'm kinda burnt out, so I hope you guys thought this was cool. Let me know if you guys liked the first round with no spectator commentary better, or if you liked the changes. Also let me know who you think would win and why. If you agree with me, I feel validated and the algorithm sees it as engagement and more people see the video. If you don't, I don't care, your opinion doesn't affect the video's outcome, and the algorithm sees it as engagement and more people see the video, so I still win! Anyway, remember to do all the YouTube stuff like liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.